Yes. Yeah, the chair. But yeah, I'm being Bowling Green. We headed to Bowling
Tony
Green.
Stringer was on it.
She was, and she's not. She might.
Too bad there's no basketball today, so I can see.
The festival in Bowling Green?
Huh?
There, she's back.
Well, they always, she was in charge of working. They had that festival last year and I was wanted to go.
Oh, we've been hosting it for 8 years.
Huh?
8 years.
They had some delicious food here. Good folks. Oh, warm.
It's a little far. New commission meeting room has a mini split. We can independently control the temperature of that room.
Right up.
Experience that in August. Okay.
Did y'all have any Juneteenth activities yesterday? We had a big thing in Paducah yesterday. It's nice, and they released butterflies. I don't know how did they get the butterflies in the papers?
Oh, that's a company does that. Somebody sent me a cake like that.
I was like,
There were butterflies in your cake?
It's in your cake, and then they said,
And
but
then
you open it up, and the butterflies come out and
butterflies
fly.
out.
They don't die?
Well, I'm pretty sure.
No, but they're not butterflies. They're made out of paper and with rubber bands on them, so that the wings flap back and
Oh, it's not real
No,
butterflies.
They're not real
We had
butterflies.
live
No.
butterflies.
Oh,
Oh,
A live butterfly release. I'm gonna have to ask someone how they did
can they
it.
hear
man with
that?
paper.
Oh.
Yeah, I should say this is being streamed live on YouTube. So
Us.
It is
Which is very interesting.
9 o'clock, and I'd like to call this meeting to order. I guess the first two items is confirmation of public notice
We have a quorum and public notice was issued.
and any request for public participation.
So
Okay. So the next item is consideration approval of minutes of May 16, 2024 meeting.
Like to request that the minutes be accepted as presented.
Second. Been moved and second that those minutes be accepted as presented. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? And it stands approved. That's submitted. Next item is the executive director report.
Good morning and happy one day after Juneteenth. It's a good celebration. Wanted to start out the meeting by again recognizing and acknowledging Mary Ann Taylor's retirement. She will be very missed a lot. Her contribution to the agency has been enormous, and so we're going to work very quickly and to try to fill her shoes as best that we can. So I just want to take the opportunity to congratulate her on her retirement and also to thank her for the work that she's done. She may not be watching this. We also have with her position, we have the staff assistant position, we have a staff attorney position, and we have an education and outreach supervisor position that are currently vacant. The staff attorney position has been posted, and we're hoping to have interviews start for that soon. The education and outreach supervisor position has been vacant for some time. However, we chose not to use it we chose to use it to fill as assistant staff, administrative assistant positions so that we would have intake positions filled, because we don't have people doing our intake. The rest of the agency doesn't get filled. So we are looking right now to classify that vacancy so that we can fill it with administrative specialists or whatever they're calling it at the time, because they change frequently. And so that we can get at least 2 of those positions so that they can do intake. The staff assistant position will be filled. That's the position that Mary Ann vacated. We'll be filling that position. Professional development staff is continuing to do training virtually and in person, in both employment and housing. Cedric will give you an update of all the cases in employment, PA, and housing with his report. I reviewed 32 cases for approval. 22 of those cases were employment, 1 was a public accommodation case, and 9 were housing cases. Of the 22 employment cases, 20 were no probable cause. 1 was withdrawn with settlement, and 1 was withdrawn without settlement. One of the 9 housing cases, 7 were no probable cause. 1 was a conciliation, and 1 was an administrative motion. And we had 1 public accommodation case that was a no probable cause case. If you have any questions, I will answer this. I did want to mention, and I know that Commissioners Karama and Litvin aren't here, but the Lexington Fayette Urban County Human Rights Commission is having an open house tomorrow between 11 and 2 o'clock. If anyone is interested in attending that open house, they sent out an invitation for us.
Any questions for Cynthia, for anyone? I guess I've got one. Is with Mary Ann's departure, what's the impact on our scheduling for the Hall of Fame?
We're on track. We have a location in Hopkinsville. We're working with Rachel Farmer right now with the Hopkinsville Commission. We have a location. Tell me the name again. Do you remember the name, Karen? The Bruce. We will be at the Bruce, and we're in the process of signing a contract there now. The Bruce, it's like a convention.
Next to the hotel, it's like a convention center.
It is a convention center.
Yeah.
It's the Bruce Convention Center. It is.
Okay.
And the plan is to have our commission meeting that day. And so we'll have the commission meeting, and then we'll go into the Hall of Fame event. So we are still working on that.
In the outreach report, they actually said that the Hall of Fame meetings was going to be in Owensboro, not Hopkinsville.
No, it's Hopkinsville. The Hall of Fame event will be in Hopkinsville.
Any other questions for Cynthia?
Is there a reception or anything planned?
Yes, there will be a small reception for the Hall of Fame event.
And that date again is?
November the 20th. On a Friday instead of a Thursday.
I deal with Friday that month.
And we are still looking for judges. If you all have any recommendations, we have not. Right now, what we're doing is we're taking the information on all of the nominees, and we're going to compile that and send out a booklet for the judges to review. If you have anybody that you want us to consider as judges, please let me know so we can get that information as soon as possible. November 20th, a Friday. No, that's
Second.
no. Okay. Right. It is November the 22nd. Apologize. November the 22nd, Friday, November the 22nd. Thanksgiving holidays the next week. And the week before that, we have Election Day and Veterans Day. And so, yeah, it's Friday the 22nd.
Okay, any more questions, Cynthia? None, let's go to the budget and personnel, Brandon.
Just a second. Ask for a blank. You have my report before you. We are about 113,000 under budget for the year. That's probably going to change based on some timing of expenditures for this final period. Some things that we're going to try to spend money on in the last month of the fiscal year. I'll take any questions at this time.
Any questions for Brandon?
I wanted to ask, with the move, are we experiencing increase or decrease in expenses just with the overall move to the new location?
It's a good question. We're waiting on the final on the first utility bill for the new location. I'm a little curious as to what it's going to look like. It is what I think it's going to be. It's going to be about a break even for 3 years while we pay back the construction, the build out costs. After that, we'll be coming out ahead. So,
Friends and real property that not come to the party to help us.
Yeah, but I will have a better idea about the exact difference between what was going on at the Haber and what is going to be here in the permanent location next month. I'll make sure to include that.
So, Brandon, line E-133, which is employee training, that's our increased training of our staff here.
That's correct.
And E-175, non-professional services.
Moving costs. What's what we pay for the movers?
Okay.
In fiscal year 24.
So E-361, 362, and 363 is all travel. The first two are commissioners travel, and the last line is staff travel.
E-363 is actually commissioner travel. I was in a meeting a while back and they said commissioners should be considered non-state employees because you're not 18A.
Okay.
And then E-361 is for in-state and E-362 is for out-of-state.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of how it's broken up.
Any other questions for Brandon?
Oh.
So, none. Let's move on to mediation. Some.
Good morning, everyone. You have my report before you. Since the last commission meeting, 2 cases did settle. One was discrimination based on sex. It was a male, and that settled with non-monetary terms, and the employee was able to remain with the employer. The other one was discrimination based on national origin, settled with monetary and non-monetary terms. And the 2 in June, the one on June 12th was based on disability and it settled. The one on June 14th, we started it, but had to actually reschedule the rest of it to today after the commission meeting. That one will be conducted.
Any questions for Simon? Okay, and then let's move to enforcement, Cedric.
Good morning, everyone. I want to celebrate, first of all my investigators regarding housing. This time last year, submitted to HUD, we had 0 cases submitted to HUD for approval this time last year. Right now, as we speak, we have 91 cases submitted to HUD for approval. Out of the 91, 59 cases have been approved for credit, meaning payment. There have been some rejections. I want
Say
to,
those numbers again.
so 59 cases have been accepted for payment as of right now.
You said there were 91 there.
91 submitted so far altogether. Some cases have been rejected. Now, I want to be clear when I say rejected. They're not rejected because the finding was wrong. They're rejected because something wasn't done in HIMSS correctly, which is the federal system, or they were rejected based on the fact that we didn't detail something or something like that. But as far as the findings, we do not have any rejections based on a bad or a wrong finding. I just want to be clear on what rejection means when I say rejected by as far as credit goes. We will have probably about 100 cases submitted by the end of the month. The end of the month, June 2024, ends the processing year. So whatever cases are submitted by the 30th, they will look at for credit. So I'm hoping, we obviously get way more than 59. So we'll see. But 59 cases submitted for credit. So I want to throw that out there as a celebration because that is big and that is good stuff. And that's credit to the investigators. That's credit to legal. And that's credit to me as well. So we all played a part. Yes.
And also clarify, Cedric, that of 91, it's not necessarily that we just got 59 accepted of the 91. All of those 91 have not been reviewed yet. They're in HIMSS, but they have not all been reviewed.
Right.
So just wanted to make sure that that's
Correct. Also, looking at housing again specifically, we are now, this is going to teeter. So this is a celebration for now. It might be higher the next time we meet, but we are under 200 days of the average case age for housing. We are under 200 days as of June 10th. That's going to go up and down, but right now we can celebrate it under 200 days as far as that goes. So that's a good thing. I wanted to point that out. So housing is moving along fine. Employment is doing well too. Employment, we have something, man. Employment's doing good. I guess I left out that page. Oh, no, there it goes. So employment, 93 cases submitted, 82 cases accepted. Case pending is 11. Now, this does not include the 22 that were submitted before this commission meeting. Because of the reconsideration day of 14, we're still waiting on those. But the 22 is not included in the 93 submitted so far for employment. Nor is it projected in the numbers you see as far as case age or any of that. So it's not projected in there either. As far as taken away, it's in there. I'm sorry. It's in there, but it's not shown as taken out. The 22 are still involved in the numbers until the 14-day reconsideration age has lapsed. So employment's doing well. We still are working on cases that are over 200 days. We still are working on cases that are over 200 days, and we're working with those who have a high case number. We're working with those as well to get those cases out. That's once again working with legal and working with the individual to see what's going on with these cases. Some cases just are hard to close, no matter how old they are. They are hard to get to that finding of probable cause or no probable cause because there's a lot in there mixed in. So that's one thing as well. But outside of that, training wise, wasn't a lot of training during this time frame. Wasn't a lot of training during this time frame. We went to the FIR training. I did that in-house for the housing staff regarding HIMSS, and then we had a HIMSS training as well, and an ARC training for the FIPAs regarding how to operate the ARC system, which is the federal system used for employment. So with all that being said, I'll take any questions.
Any questions for Cedric?
No question, just appreciate all the great work that's being done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joyce, you have a question? Okay. This enforcement will now move to education.
yes.
Yes. Good morning, commissioners. You have the report of the unit before you. As I missed part of the meeting because of the traffic, but I'm sure Ms. Cynthia possibly mentioned that was the retirement of Mary Ann Taylor. So we, by ourselves, feel lonely, but Cynthia Fox stepped in and all of the managers. So I guess the only thing I'd like to point out here is that for the out of office activities, we're gonna report for the 2 months ahead of us. So this will give us a chance for you commissioners to see where we are. That will give you the chance to attend, participate if you would like to. Because in the past, we have given a month, and sometimes the date had already passed. But this should give you enough time to kind of see and we're invited to attend these meetings or trainings. So you will see some repetition. For example, for the next month, you will see activities that's happening in July. And so it will be, July and August. So kind of overlapping. Any questions that you might have?
Any questions for Juan?
Is it something that might be able to continue, like what you guys have here? The June and July, to have that on every commission meeting so that we can see if we're able to go to Zoom?
Yes.
And Chair first made the correction about Owensboro. So the Hall of Fame will be in Hopkinsville and not in Owensboro. Thank you for
In
catching that.
Yeah, in reading through this, I guess the KRS 344-370 is attached. I tried to figure out what it related to.
Well, I attached that one because if you see the numbers of the reports, for example, the inquiries received in the month of May, you will see there that financial transaction is 0. Okay, so you might question that why is 0, and I think it's very important to know what falls under the financial transaction. So if you have an inquiry alleging that the person was not served because that person was about to open a checking account or saving account or could not withdraw the money, I believe Cole can correct me this. I believe that would be a public accommodation. So, but when it's financial transaction, has to be related to a housing, mortgage, either getting a equity home loan or getting a loan to finance a house, anything, or even just refinancing. So anything that's connected to a home, that's the financial transaction, according to what it's my understanding.
Okay.
Of the statute.
Okay, thanks for that. The legal unit, Cole.
Good morning. You all have the legal unit report. I want to note that Sana and I went to Frankfurt for the regulations before the Administrative Regulation Review Subcommittee. Positive outcome there. Now, my understanding is that it goes before a standing committee. They have 90 days to review it. If after the 90 days that the regulations are not found to be deficient in any way, they will go into effect. So stay tuned for that.
And you didn't get any questions because those regulations, as when we adopted those, you've changed some language that to comply with federal law, not necessarily where Kentucky was.
Well, we got one question about what the guidelines on fair housing means. And I told it was the co-chair, Senator West, I believe it was. He just asked about them, and I told him what we were doing. I said that we were just bringing the regulations current with federal law and eliminating references to federal law that doesn't exist, and otherwise just doing some housekeeping. He didn't really have any follow-ups.
Slip that one in. It looks like at this point.
I don't think we're slipping it in. I think it's the law, so I think it's appropriate. We had, is that it on the regs? Giving other questions on the regs. We had a case to be discussed for settlement, which is why the closed session appeared on the agenda. We're not going to do that this month. That'll be in August. We didn't receive some of the materials that we needed beforehand. So that will be deferred until the August. Other than that, that's all that I have, and I'm happy to answer any further questions from anyone.
Any questions from anyone?
Oh, also, thank you, Cynthia. A few meetings ago, it was brought up that we are supposed to do something with the governor's task force on anti-Semitism. You asked us to follow up with the chair of that commission, that task force. Cynthia and I have a meeting with the chair of that task force, and Charles Booker, this afternoon, to determine what, if anything, the commission's role is in that.
Okay. Just make certain there's big line in our minutes that we talked about that at this meeting.
Sure.
So it can be read.
Sure. Karen's got it noted over there.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we don't need a closed session. Any committee reports? I don't think there are any. Any new business? Anyway, I guess under new business, I want to follow up on, I think Commissioner Smith at the last meeting brought up this Project 2025 document. For those who have not read or delved into it, you really need to. It is absolutely shocking and surprising in terms of the number of things that they propose to do in the first 180 days of a new administration. And it really challenges a lot of the basic, I won't say belief, but basic understanding of the law in terms of what applies, not applied. This is talking about changing the whole agenda as it relates to education, how then you name it, it covers that. What is even more shocking is there are over 180, I think it's 180 different organizations and universities that have signed on to it, which, makes it, some of the ones that are listed are surprising in terms of where it is. So, I think that as we think about what the commission ought to be doing, and as we staff up, there probably needs to be a return to where we take public position with position papers and state, what this commission is all about and how it applies to, everyday living in the Commonwealth of Kentucky and how it applies to in terms of the law. Several of our legislators are quick to say what this body can do and can't do, but then when it comes to, or what the law requires, but then in terms of their actions, calls into question in terms of some of the things that we're supposed to be standing for. And I think the only way, I won't say to counter that, but to educate people is to be more upfront in terms of things that are going on. For the commissioners that are not in the room, Cynthia and the staff have put together a newsletter that's talking about a number of things that we're doing in terms of the organization, provides an update on cases, the filing process, what's happening and all that. It may be that if we do these quarterly ones, Cynthia may add a page or something that talks about, take on a subject or an area and explain in more detail what the law is, what the requirements are, and where we're going. So I would add that. Anything you want to add to that, Commissioner Smith?
Yes, at Simmons in September, we are planning a white Christian nationalism conference, which is a driver for a lot of what is seen in what the Heritage Foundation is doing. I'll get you, we are still planning for that. And as I get the plans, I will share them with the commission. But a lot of what we're doing is to try to make the faith community aware, because many are not aware of all these interlocking. White Christian nationalism uses the symbols, a lot of the symbols of Christianity to move toward the pushing of these agendas. And so all of the things that happened with ex-President Trump, with signing the Bible, all of this is not just accidental. It's all very intentional. And so we need to be alert and aware. And one of the reasons we're doing this conference is Black Christians in many respects are not even aware of what this is what it's saying and what it's doing. and they're being lulled into, under the banner of Christianity and conservatism, they're being lulled into a dangerous agenda that impacts so many things negatively that I believe we as a commission stand for. So I'll share that with you so that we can be aware as we get the dates and the times and the agenda established for that conference. Thank you.
I guess along those lines, if you listen or follow the national news, the governor of Louisiana signed in the law yesterday, a bill requiring the posting of 10 commandments in all public schools at all levels, kindergarten through post-secondary education in terms of that. Issued a challenge that he expects to be sued, and he can't wait to get to the U.S. Supreme Court. So that's where we are. Any other new business? Okay, hearing none, our next meeting will be on August the 15th, 2024, here.
New location. And on the basement floor. In our new
Oh, yeah,
location,
be in our space.
our space.
Okay, so that'll be here. Anyone have any other item or announcement, anything they want to make?
I was just gonna say that the Kentucky Black Caucus Local Elected Officials Conference, Summer Conference starts today till tomorrow. And I will be attending some Bowling Green in your backyard. And the governor is scheduled to be there tomorrow on Friday to speak at the closing. If anybody else is in the area.
Okay, if there is no other business, can motion for adjournment?
Motion for adjournment.
Second.
Move and second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank everybody for your attendance today. Cynthia, on September or something, I'm sorry, I was supposed to be the
You may.
the